Uh, Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be building this YouTube video info app. In the last tutorial I have shown you a short demo. Here you just need to plug in the YouTube video URL and then you will get the HT thumbnail. You can right click, save this thumbnail onto your computer. It will give you the title of the video, description of the video, and the tags which are used inside the video. You can just copy these all this information, right click and then click on copy. So this will be the application. I have in the last tutorial I have shown the demo. So in this tutorial we will be building this application from scratch using the YouTube data API. So in order to build this application, it is very easy. Let me just show you the endpoint that we are using. We are using this endpoint, which is www.googleapis.com/YouTube, and this is the endpoint. You can see that it returns a JSON response, and this is the title of the video, and these are the thumbnails which are there. It is there inside default, medium, high, standard, and maximum resolution. We are taking this maximum resolution thumbnail. If I open this thumbnail, you can see that. If I open this, you will see that this is a thumbnail that we are passing inside the application. So these are the tags here, you can see that. So all that stuff. So let's get started guys by building this application. So all the source code of this application is given in the video description. So this is my blog here that I have written step by step. You can read this blog. I have provided all the source code which is required for this video. You can just copy paste all the source code if you want to watch the video as well. So let's get started. I have given the link in the description. So let me just delete all the code and start from scratch. So guys, first of all, create a new folder which is YouTube video. Inside this you need to create two files, index.html, which will be the front end of the application, and the second file will be the JavaScript file, which is script.js. So inside index.html guys, we will write the boilerplate code of HTML. So here you need to write the title of the video, which is YouTube video info app in JavaScript, and after this we also need to get the bootstrap guys. So here you can just write on Google, which is bootstrap CDN, and you can go to this link and grab the CSS of bootstrap. So you can just copy this CDN, and after the title you can have the link tag, copy paste the bootstrap like this. So now we will use the container class of bootstrap, and after this we will have a break tag, and then we will use the form group class of bootstrap. Inside this form group class we will have our input field, so input of type text, and here we will give the ID, let's suppose URL, and it should be required guys, and the placeholder will be YouTube URL. That's it. And also, in order to make this stylish, we also need to add a simple class of form control. This is again bootstrap class. After this guys, we will add the button. So for the button we will also add this simple class form group, and now this will be a button. So this will be having btn, btn danger, and btn block. So these are some of the bootstrap classes, and the label will be simply generate info. That's it. And now if I refresh the application, what you will see a let me just see where is my endpoint. If I refresh, you will see this is the input field and this is the button. And I forgot one thing. I need to add a heading here. Let's suppose a simple heading, YouTube Ultimate SEO tool, like this. And after this we will have a simple break tag, and now if I refresh, you will see this is there. So if you want to align this on the center of the screen, you can just add a simple bootstrap class of text dash center. So after adding this class, you will have your heading in the center position. That's it. So this is your front end guys. Now we just need to write the JavaScript. For writing the JavaScript, we will use the Jquery library. So Jquery CDN you need to write, and go to w3schools.com website, and here you need to grab the CDN here. So copy the CDN and just after your body tag here, paste it. And now we will also include our script.js file here, script.js, which will be the custom JavaScript file. So now we will write the document ready function, guys, of jQuery. So when all the elements are loaded, we need to execute this code. So now we need to target the form here by its ID. So we need to give it a unique ID, guys, inside index.html. We need to wrap this all this inside a form tag, and I will give it an ID of my form like this. So just here you need to wrap this here. So just after the button you need to close the form tag like this. So we have given this ID my form, so we need to target this. So how we can target this? We can provide this ID my form submit. So when the form submits, this callback function will automatically trigger, which will hold the event object event.prevent default. We need to call this function in order to prevent the auto submission of the form. Now we need to get the URL that the user has typed inside the input field. So for that we can just use the ID to target the input field, and now to get the value we will use the val function. So we have given this ID to it of URL. You can see that now we are targeting it, and if I alert out the value alert URL, you will see whatever we type inside the input field. Let's suppose I type this generate info, you will see that this is the URL which is generated inside the alert box. Now what we want, we need to make a simple get request to the API with this URL. So one thing I noticed, guys, inside our endpoint, we are targeting this endpoint. We only need this portion, which is video ID. Let me just show you. If I type this, we only need this portion. V is equal to, this is a video ID of each YouTube video. We only need this portion. So now to extract this video ID from the URL, we will make a custom function which will get the video ID for us. So get video ID, we will pass this URL, that's it. So now we will write this function which is get video ID, and we will pass the URL like this. So this will be a 2 lines of code in order to split it inside video ID. So we will take the URL, we will use the split function, and inside this we will write in double quotes v is equal to, and then the first element we need to catch. You can see that we need to return this. So this will return this video ID. So we need to make a new variable of video ID. So now if I alert this video ID, what you will find, our video ID is there. So if I refresh here, let's suppose if I give this URL, click on generate info, now you will see that it is extracted this video ID portion, 11 characters video ID. So now we just need to make a simple get request. So after this we will make another function which will make a simple request to the YouTube API. So this will be get YouTube info, and we will pass the URL, that's it. So this will be again a different function. So at below we will write here get YouTube info, and we will pass the URL, and inside, guys, we will just first of all declare some variables. First is the API key variable. So in order to use any kind of Google API, we need to first of all generate a API key. For generating the API key, this process is pretty much simple. For every API, you need to go to first of all Google Developer Console, type this on Google, and go to this website which is console.developers.google.com, and you need to have a Google account. After you have the Google account, you need to go to this credentials here. You need to first of all create a project. So I have already created a project. Go to credentials, and then you need to click on this plus icon which is create credentials, and then this option will come API key. Click this option, so it will create your API key. So after this, it has created this API key. Copy this. So this is your API key, paste it here, and now we need to construct our URL which we will be making a simple request to. So let me just make it as API URL, sorry, API URL. And this needs to be, guys, we are passing video ID, not URL, so this needs to be video ID, and this is my mistake, so this needs to be video ID. And we need to construct the endpoint, guys, so I can just copy paste the endpoint. So you can just go to my blog post. Here you can download the full source code. So inside that source code you will find this endpoint. So here we need to just make some slight modifications. So inside id is equal to, we need to replace video ID here. And next we need to replace our API key variable. So after key is equal to, we need to replace it here. So here we can just concatenate it, API key, like this. That's it. So this is our URL, guys. We need to make a simple get request. So we can use the $.get method and pass this API URL, and the second argument will be the callback function, which will execute when the request is successful. So this will hold the data which will coming from the API. So now, guys, we need to, first of all, just to check, we can just console log the data which is coming back from the API. So if I reload the application, let's suppose I go back to the application, and now to open the console, right click inspect, go to console here and input the URL, click generate info. You will see that on the right hand side we have generated this JSON object, and inside this object we have the snippet property, and inside this we have the tags, we have the thumbnails which we have, and we have the title of the video. Now we need to display this information, guys. So it is pretty simple. Go to the index.html file, and just after the form is ending, make a div and give it an ID of it to result. That's it. Now go to script.js. We need to, what we want, we need to append this into this result div here. So here we can do that, target this div by its ID result, and here we need to use the append method in order to append it inside this div. So here we will use the backtick symbol in order to write multiple lines of HTML code. So backtick symbol we will use here. So guys, inside this we just need to have first of all, let me just get the title of the video. So title is there inside data.items 0, and inside this there is a snippet property, snippet dot title. So title is there inside this variable, we need to print it out. So what we can do here is that we need to make an input field. Inside this input field we will write the title. So we will again use the form group class or bootstrap and close the div here, and inside this we will make a simple input field, input type of text, and we will give it a class of bootstrap which is form control, and this time the disabled property will be true. We need to disable it, so the user will not be able to edit this input field, will not be able to change its value. So disabled is equal to true. And now we need to provide the value. So value will be equal to, guys, inside dollar a set of curly brackets we will bind the dynamic variable. That's it. So close it. Now what we want, let me just check it if it is working or not. If I input this URL, click generate info, now you can see that this is our title of the video. I can just copy it, but I cannot edit this because this is a disabled input field. So this has a grayish background, you can see that. And similarly we can have a simple label telling which is a simple label in bootstrap. So we can have a label tag, label for. So we can have inside this form group class label, label for, this is the label for the title. So we can just have this label, close the label tag. That's it. So now if I refresh it, guys, click on generate info, you can see that title is showing here. And now we need to repeat the same thing for the description also. So for the description I can just copy paste it. This time we don't want the input field, we want here, first of all, here replace description, and also replace it here description. And this time we don't want the input field. Instead we want the text area element, so just declare the text area element and close it. First of all, text area like this. So this takes two properties, guys. First is the calls value. So calls, let's suppose I give it as 8, and the rows I give it as let's suppose 10. Now guys, we will print out the description. So this was the last time that we recorded. So inside this, first of all, we need to make the description variable here. So right here below the title, we will make another variable which will be description. So this will be there inside data items again. So inside this there is a snippet property and there is a description property. So this will get the description, but one problem is there. If I just print out this description here, let's suppose inside this text area, let's suppose I give this description. So if I reload it, you will see the description will be printed out. If I give the URL generate info, uh, now you will see, I think we need to first of all give it a class of bootstrap, which is form control, and I think we need to also increase this rows calls variable. So let me just increase it to 12. If I refresh, and now you can see that, guys, this is a description, and you will see that these underscore is there for you can see that this is a description. I think the description is looking good. You can see that inside this there is an object on the right hand side we have given. So inside the snippet this description is there, so you can see that this is a description. Now that we need to have this tags here, we need to print out the tags. So the third thing which is remaining, the last thing, we need to have the tags. So for printing out the tags, it is pretty simple, guys. We will again repeat the same process. So paste it. So here you need to replace tags. So replace tags here, and again we will be printed out inside text area. So here we will replace here tags. So for now, just go to the top here. We need to declare a variable for the tags here also. So this is again there inside data items and snippet, and this time this is tags. So this is an array, not a object. So now we need to loop through it. So for looping through it, we can use our for each loop. For each loop, and for each tag we need to define this index variable. So tag, we need to remove we need to have a comma here. So if you have seen the YouTube tags, they are separated by commas. So we need to separate these tags with commas. So let me just show you. So if you see the list here inside snippet, we have this snippet property, we have this tags. So 32 tags are there. So after every tag we need to have a comma. So likewise Preetham comma Preetham Vivo comma life in a metro comma Vivo. So for doing this we need to have a loop, and inside this loop we will write tag. We will append this by using plus is equal to, and then we will use we will print out a comma like this. That's it. And tag plus, you can see that. That's it. So we can just append this tag plus comma. That's it. So now if I refresh it, guys, if I generate info, if I see what is happening here, you will see that this is the tags here. It is Preetham comma Preetham Vivo comma life in a metro. You can see that. Now this is our tags here. So all the three things are complete. Let me just decrease the rows here to, let's suppose, 6, just to align it properly. So again, if I generate info, you can see that if you don't have the space, this scroll bar will automatically being added here. You can see that. So one thing is remaining, guys, which is the thumbnail. So we also need to add the thumbnail. So right here, after, just before it, we will add the thumbnail. So this thumbnail will be image source, and here we need to provide our thumbnail. So we can dynamically put the variable which is thumbnail. Likewise, and close it. We will also give it a bootstrap class which is image dash thumbnail. That's it. And now we just need to get the thumbnail. So just declare a variable right here at the top which is thumbnail, and this is there inside data.items. Let me just show you. So if I generate info, if I go to console, so it is there inside the snippet property and thumbnails. So snippet dot thumbnails, and we will be printing out the maximum resolution thumbnail. So maximum resolution and URL. So this will be pretty simple. This needs to be items dot snippet dot thumbnails dot maximum resolution dot URL. That's it. Now if I refresh it, guys, you will also see the thumbnail printed out. You can see that this is a thumbnail. This is a title, description, and the tags. I think that we haven't added the disabled attribute for the description and the tags. That is why it is editable. So we need to add the disabled attribute as well. Disable to true. Disable to true, and also here also. So that's it, guys. So now the application is complete. If I do this stuff once again, you can see that. So one more minor change that we want to make is that if I want to make another request here to the API, so what you will see, it will append to the last here. So we need to clear out the entry whenever we make a new request. So right here we need to target our result here, and we need to invoke the empty method just to clear out the previous content. And now what you will see, if I make a request, generate info. Now if I want to make another request, let's suppose this one, so now this image will be cleared. And one more thing that we need to do, if I click generate info, I need to clear out this input field content. So it is pretty simple, guys. We need to target this by its ID, and we will need to set the val to nothing. That's it. So this completes the application. So if I now check, now this will clear out the entries, so it will be easy to type for the users. So this was the application, guys, that I promised you that I will be showing you step by step how to create it in JavaScript using the YouTube Data API version 3. And all the source code is given in the video description. A live demo is also available on my websites. Just go to it and use this tool anytime. Go to codingshiksha.com and you will find the tool. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this video. If you like this video, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you the next video.